In this presentation, we'll be going over the subject, that is, the person who can receive the sacrament of holy orders. The subject of holy orders is a fully initiated man. By fully initiated, we mean that he has received baptism, confirmation, and Eucharist in the Catholic tradition. But he must be a man, because Jesus chose only men as his apostles, and he entrusted to those men, his apostles, the fulfillment of his mission to bring salvation to the world. Having set that example, the apostles, in turn, chose only men as bishops to be their successors. Whether they were setting up bishops in new areas as they ministered in different areas, or whether they were setting up bishops to be their successors after they died, they chose only men. And for 2,000 years, the Church has recognized that it is bound by the choice that the Lord made. In addition, we must see that this sacrament is a gift to be received, not a rite. Catholics have a right to the Eucharist once they have been fully initiated, but no Catholic, no person has the right to the sacrament, because this sacrament is one to which you must be called. That is why we call it a vocation. Someone is called to this sacrament. And even if someone thinks that they're called to the sacrament, they must submit to the authority of the Church, who alone has the ability to call, along with the Lord, this person to holy orders and confer the sacrament. Which is why we must understand that it is in humility that someone submits themselves to the authority of the Church, and it is only in humility that the graces of this sacrament can be received as a gift, not claimed as a right. And finally, not only must the subject be male, but the subject must also, in some sense, commit themselves to celibacy. First and foremost, because this indicates that they have an undivided heart to the Lord. As a married man, I am dedicated to my wife, and so I must be undivided in my devotion to her and in raising a family. Likewise, a priest, bishops should be undivided, wholly devoted to the Church, to the Lord, the body of Christ, to whom they are married, and of course to the raising up of spiritual children, the faithful. Understand that the teaching of celibacy is what is called an ecclesiastical discipline. Unlike a doctrine or a dogma, this is something that could change. It is very possible that the Church could allow for married priests or for priests who are currently celibate to take on a wife if the Church were to make sweeping changes. Now, we have to look at this based upon the Roman Rite and the Eastern Rite. In the Roman Rite, bishops and priests are required to be celibate and remain celibate, meaning to receive the sacrament, you must be unmarried, not married, and you must remain unmarried. Deacons, however, permanent deacons in the Roman Rite are allowed to be married. Eastern churches are a bit different. Eastern churches allow not only their deacons, but their priests to be married. Whereas bishops, however, bishops are only chosen from among the priests who are celibate. Now, the teaching in both the Roman and the Eastern Rite is this: if you are married when you enter the sacrament, like a deacon in the Roman Rite, or a deacon or a priest in the Eastern Rite, that's fine. But should something happen, like, say, the death of your wife, and you find yourself unmarried, you are then bound by a vow of celibacy never to get married again. So you can enter the sacrament married, but after that, once you've received the sacrament, you could not then go and get married.